Hello, I'm Doug Gresham, your host for Focus on the Family Radio Theatre. It's with great reluctance, I must say, that the story we're about to hear, The Last Battle, is the final story in the Chronicles of Narnia. For many readers, it's the most popular book of the seven, even surpassing The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe among avid fans for its insight and poignancy. To be honest, I'm not surprised. Where The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe gives a promise, The Last Battle sees that promise fulfilled. Many critics have observed that it may be the best testimony to C.S. Lewis's personal beliefs of all of his writings. For even in the midst of great darkness, a light burst through with hope. As a result, The Last Battle received numerous accolades when it was released in 1956, winning the prestigious Carnegie Medal for the best children's book of that year. There's so much I could say about The Last Battle, but it's probably best to let the story speak for itself. And so, Focus on the Family Radio Theatre is pleased to present the final installment of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Last Battle.
In the last days of Narnia, far up to the west, beyond the Lantern Waste, and close to the great waterfall, there lived an ape. He was so old that no one could remember when he'd first come to live in those parts, and he was the cleverest, ugliest, most wrinkled ape you can imagine. He had a little house built of wood and thatched with leaves up in the fork of a great tree, and his name was Shift. There were very few talking beasts or men or dwarfs or people of any sort in that part of the wood, but Shift had one friend and neighbor who was a donkey called Puzzle. At least they both said they were friends, but from the way things went on, you might have thought Puzzle was more like Shift's servant than his friend.
Shift, I'm back.
Well done, Puzzle. You may put those baskets there.
Oh, all right then.
The fruit looks particularly delicious today.
Oh, yeah. I don't suppose, that is to say, perhaps we could have a bite to eat. It was a long way to town.
You want to eat my food?
Well, I was only thinking that since I fetched it for you, we could share some of it.
I'm surprised at your selfishness, Puzzle.
Well, but selfishness.
Well, you know I can't eat grass and thistles like you, so I must eat the fruits and vegetables from town. For you to have any now would diminish my supply, which would require yet another trip to town sooner than either of us would like.
Oh.
You understand, of course.
Yeah, of course, Shift, of course, yeah, I see that. I'm sorry to be so selfish.
Yeah.
One morning, early in the year, the pair of them were walking along the shore of Cauldron Pool. Cauldron Pool is the big pool right under the cliffs at the western end of Narnia. The great waterfall pours down into it with a noise like everlasting thunder, and the river Narnia flows out on the other side. The waterfall keeps the pool always dancing and bubbling and churning round and round, and that, of course, is how it got its name of Cauldron Pool. As Shift and Puzzle looked at the lively water, Shift suddenly pointed with his dark, skinny finger and said,
Look! What's that?
What's what?
That yellow thing that's just come down from the waterfall. Look! Look, there it is again! It's floating. We must find out what it is.
Must we?
Well, of course we must. It may be something useful. Just hop into the pool like a good fellow, fish it out, come on. Then we can have a proper look at it.
Hop into the pool?
Well, how are we going to get it if you don't?
But, well, wouldn't it be better if you went in? Because you see, it's you who wants to know what it is, and I don't, Madge. And you've got hands, you see. You're as good as a man or a dwarf when it comes to catching hold of things. I've only got hoofs.
Really, Basil? I didn't think you'd ever say a thing like that. I didn't think it of you, really.
Well, what have I said wrong? All I meant was...
Wanting me to go into the water. As if you didn't know perfectly well what weak chest apes always have and how easily we catch cold. Very well. I will go in. I'll probably get sick and die.
Oh, no.
But I'll go in.
Oh, wait, no, please don't.
I insist.
No, please, I never meant anything of the sort, Shift. I didn't know. You know how stupid I am and how I can't think of more than one thing at a time. I'd forgotten about your weak chest. Oh, of course I'll go in. You mustn't think of doing it yourself. No, promise me you won't, Shift.
Well... All right. I promise. But you'll have to be quick before it floats away.
Oh, yeah, I'm going. He looks so cold.
Hurry!
Right.
Not under the waterfall! You stupid donkey!
Right!
Do be careful! You lose it!
Got it!
It's about time! Bring it! What could it possibly be? Oh, watch your hoofs, you're trampling it. Oh, it's as big as a hearth rug.
There, Shift.
Oh, stop, you're making me cold. Keep away, shake the water over there. This is something remarkable. Oh, yes, I do think it is.
Is what? What is it?
It's a lion skin.
Oh, is it?
Now, I wonder...
Who do you suppose killed the poor lion? He'd ought to be buried. We must have a funeral.
Oh, it wasn't a talking lion, so you needn't bother about that.
Oh.
There are no talking beasts up beyond the falls. This skin must have belonged to a damn wild lion. A hunter must have killed and skinned it.
Well, all the same, Shift. Even if the skin only belonged to a damn wild lion, oughtn't we to give it a decent burial? I mean, aren't all lions rather solemn because of you-know-who? Don't you see?
Don't you start getting ideas into your head, Puzzle, because thinking isn't your strong point. We'll make this skin into a fine, warm winter coat for you.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think I'd like that. No, it would look... I mean, the other beasts might think, that is to say, I should feel
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't think it would be respectful.
Respectful? Respectful to whom?
To the great lion. To Aslan himself. I don't think he'd like it if a donkey like me went about dressed up in a lion's skin.
Now, don't start arguing, please. What does a donkey like you know about things of that sort? You know you're no good at thinking, Puzzle.
Well,
so why don't you let me do your thinking for you? Why don't you treat me as I treat you? I don't think I can do everything. I know you're better at some things than I am. That's why I let you go into the pool. I knew you'd do it better than me. Why can't I have my turn when it comes to something I can do and you can't? Am I never allowed to do anything? Do be fair.
Of course, when you put it that way.
Well, I tell you what. You'd better take a good brisk trot downriver as far as Chippingford and see if they have any oranges or bananas.
Oh, but I'm so tired.
Yes, but you're very cold and wet. You want a brisk trot to warm you up. Besides, it's market day at Chippingford today.
Oh. Then I suppose I must go.
Yes, you must.
Yes, I must.
As soon as he was alone, Shift went shambling along to his own tree. Then he swung himself up from branch to branch, grinning all the time, and went into his little house. He found needle and thread and a big pair of scissors there. Then he came down the tree and shambled across to the lion skin. He squatted down and got to work. He saw at once that the body of the lion skin would be too long for Puzzle, and its neck too short. So he cut a good piece out of the body and used it to make a long collar for Puzzle's neck. Then he cut off the head and sewed the collar in between the head and shoulders. He put threads on both sides of the skin so that it would tie up under Puzzle's chest and stomach.
I'm a genius! A genius! Puzzle, come here.
Oh, there weren't any oranges and there weren't any bananas, and I'm very tired.
Come and try on your beautiful new lion skin
Oh,
coat.
bother that old skin. I'll try it on in the morning. I'm too tired tonight.
You are unkind, Puzzle. If you're tired, what do you think I am? All day long, while you've been having a lovely, refreshing walk down the valley, I've been working hard to make you a coat. My hands are so tired I can hardly hold these scissors. And you won't say thank you. You won't even look at the coat. And you don't care. And
No, my dear Shift. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I've been horrid. Of course, I'd love to try it on. Yeah. It looks simply splendid, yeah. Do try it on me at once. No, please do.
well, stand still then.
Oh, yes, sorry.
The skin was very heavy for him to lift, but in the end, with a lot of pulling and pushing and puffing and blowing, he got it on the donkey. He tied it underneath Puzzle's body, and he tied the legs to Puzzle's legs and the tail to Puzzle's tail. A good deal of Puzzle's grey nose and face could be seen through the open mouth of the lion's head. No one who'd ever seen a real lion would have been taken in for a moment. But if someone who'd never seen a lion looked at Puzzle in his lion skin, he just might mistake him for a lion. If he didn't come too close, and if the lights were not good, and if Puzzle didn't let out a bray or make a noise with his hoofs.
You look wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. If anyone saw you now, they'd think you were Aslan, the great lion himself.
Oh, no, that would be dreadful.
No, it wouldn't. Everyone would do whatever you told them.
But I don't want to tell him anything.
But think of the good we could do. You'd have me to advise you, you know.
Well,
I'd think of sensible orders for you to give. And everyone would have to obey us, even the king himself. We would set everything right in Narnia.
Well, isn't everything right already?
What? Everything right? Well, there are no oranges or bananas?
Well, you know, there aren't many people. In fact, I don't think there's anyone but yourself who wants those sorts of things very often.
There's sugar, too.
Sugar. Yeah, well, it would be nice if there was more sugar.
Well, then that's settled. You will pretend to be Aslan, and I will tell you what to say.
Oh, no. Don't say such dreadful things. Oh, it'd be wrong shift. Oh, I may not be very clever, but I know that much. What would become of us if the real Aslan turned up?
I expect he'd be very pleased.
Hey?
Probably he sent us the lion skin on purpose so that we could set things to right. Anyway, he never does turn up. Not nowadays.
Oh, there! It's a sign! It's a warning! I knew we were doing something dreadfully wicked. Oh, take this wretched skin off me at once!
No. Now. Don't you see? It's a sign the other way. I was just going to say, if the real Aslan, as you call him, meant us to go on with this, he would send us a thunderclap. Yes, it was just on the tip of my tongue, only the sign itself came before I could get the words out. You've got to do it now, Puzzle. And please don't let us have any more arguing. You know that you don't understand these things.
Well,
what could a donkey know about signs? Well...
About 3 weeks later, the last of the kings of Narnia sat under the great oak which grew beside the door of his little hunting lodge, where he often stayed for 10 days or so, in the pleasant spring weather. He loved to live there, simply and at ease, away from the pomp of Cair Paravel, the royal city. His name was King Tirian. He was between 20 and 25 years old. His shoulders were already broad and strong, and his limbs full of hard muscle, but his beard was still scanty. He had blue eyes and a fearless, honest face. There was no one with him that spring morning, except his dearest friend, Jewel the unicorn. They loved each other like brothers, and each had saved the other's life in the wars.
I cannot set myself to any work or sport today, Jewel. I can think of nothing but this wonderful news. Think you we shall hear any more of it today?
They are the most wonderful tidings ever heard in our days or our fathers' or our grandfathers' days, sire. If they are true.
How can they choose but be true? It is more than a week ago that the first birds came flying over us saying that Aslan is here. And after that it was the squirrels.
But they had not seen him.
No, but they said it was certain he was in the woods. Then came the stag. He said he'd seen him with his own eyes in Lantern Waste.
From a great way off, by moonlight.
Then came that dark man with a beard, the merchant from Calormenes. The Calormenes care nothing for Aslan as we do, but the man spoke of it as a thing beyond doubt. And there was the badger last night. He too had seen Aslan.
Indeed, sire. If I seem not to believe, it is only that my joy is too great to let my belief settle itself. It's almost too beautiful to believe.
Yes. It is beyond all that I've ever hoped for in all my life.
Listen.
What is it?
Hoofs, sire. A galloping horse. A very heavy horse. It must be one of the centaurs.
And look, there he is.
Hail, King!
Oh, there. Welcome, Runewit. Dilba, bring a bowl of refreshment for the noble centaur.
Yes, sire.
When you have found your breath, you shall tell us your errand.
Thank you, sire.
Your wine. Drink up, Runewit, to help you find your voice.
I drink first to Aslan and truth, sire. And secondly, to your majesty.
Now, Runewit, do you bring us more news of Aslan?
Sire, you know how long I have lived and studied the stars. For we centaurs live longer than you men, and even longer than your kind, unicorn. Never in all my days have I seen such terrible things written in the skies as there have been nightly since this year began.
Oh?
The stars say nothing of the coming of Aslan, not of peace nor of joy. I know by my art that there have not been such disastrous conjunctions of the planets for 500 years. It was already in my mind to come and warn your majesty that some great evil hangs over Narnia, But last night, the rumor reached me that Aslan is abroad in Narnia.
Yes.
Sire, I do not believe this tale. It cannot be. The stars never lie, but men and beasts do. If Aslan were really coming to Narnia, the sky would have foretold it. If he were really come, all the most gracious stars would be assembled in his honor. It is all a lie.
A lie?
Indeed.
What creature in Narnia or all the world would dare to lie on such a matter?
That I know not, Lord King, but I know there are liars on earth. There are none among the stars.
I wonder whether Aslan might not come, though all the stars foretold otherwise. He is not the slave of the stars, but their maker. Is it not said in all the old stories that he is not a tame lion?
Well said, Jewel. Those are the very words. Not a tame lion. It comes in many tales.
But sire!
Wait. I hear something.
Someone else approaches.
There, in the thick of the woods. Listen.
Woe for my brothers and sisters! Woe for the holy trees! The woods are laid waste. The axe is loosed against us. We are being felled. Great trees are falling, falling, falling.
The speaker came in sight. She was like a woman, but so tall that her head was on a level with the centaurs. Yet she was like a tree, too. It's hard to explain if you've never seen a dryad, but quite unmistakable once you have. Something different in the color, the voice, and the hair. King Tirian and the two beasts knew at once that she was the nymph of a beech tree.
Justice, Lord King! Come to our aid! Protect your people! They are felling us in Lantern Waste! 40 great trunks of my brothers and sisters are already on the ground.
What, lady? Felling Lantern Waste, murdering the talking trees? How dare they? And who dares it? Now, by the mane of Aslan!
Ah! 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 Lord King! No!
Jewel! Roommate, help me!
There is nothing to be done. She is dead, sire.
Even now, she vanishes from before our eyes.
It can't be. What is happening?
It means only one thing. Someone has cut down her tree.
Then come, my friends. We must go upriver and find the villains who have done this, with all the speed we may. I will leave not one of them alive.
Sire, with a good will.
Sire, be wary in your just wrath. There are strange doings on foot. If there should be rebels in arms further up the valley, we three are too few to meet them. If it would please you to wait while...
I will not wait the 10th part of a second. But while Jewel and I go forward, gallop as hard as you may to Cair Paravel. Here's my ring for your token. Get me a score of men-at-arms, all well mounted, and a score of talking dogs, and 10 dwarves. Let them all be archers, and a leopard or so, and Stonefoot the giant. Bring all these after us as quickly as may be.
With a good will, sire.
Come, Jewel. We have no time to lose.
The king strode on at a great pace. Jewel walked beside him, saying nothing. They soon reached the river and had to ford it to the southern bank. The king was so angry that he hardly noticed the cold of the water. They came ashore to the westward road that would lead them along the river to Lantern Waste. They'd not gone more than a mile when they both stopped at the same moment.
Sire, look.
What have we here? A raft?
A very large raft. Made of new-cut trees from the looks of it. And a water rat steering it.
Strange. Hey! Water rat! What are you about?
Taking logs down to sell to the Calormenes, sire.
Calormenes? What do you mean? Who gave order for these trees to be felled?
It was the lion's order, sire. Aslan himself.
Aslan? Could it be true? Could he be felling the holy trees and murdering the dryads?
Only if the dryads have done something dreadfully wrong.
But selling them to the Calormenes? Is it possible?
I don't know. He's not a tame lion.
Jewel, what lies before us. Horrible thoughts arise in my heart. If we had died before today, we should have been happy.
Yes. We have lived too long. The worst thing in the world has come upon us.
Well, we must go on and take the adventure that comes to us.
It is the only thing left for us to do, sire.
Before long, Tirian and Jill reached a rise of ground beyond which they would soon see the forest of Lantern Waste itself.
Do you hear that, sire?
Axes! Hurry, Jewel! Hurry!
They reached the top of the hill and stopped from the shock of what they saw. Right through the middle of that ancient forest, that forest where the trees of gold and of silver had once grown, and where a child from our world had once planted the tree of protection, a broad lane had already been opened. It was a hideous lane, like a raw gash in the land, full of muddy ruts where felled trees had been dragged down to the river. There was a great crowd of people at work, and the cracking of whips and horses tugging and straining as they dragged at the logs. The first thing that struck the king and the unicorn was that about half the people in the crowd were not talking beasts, but men.
Calormenes! What are they doing here? And what have they done to Lantern Waste?
Tirian grasped his sword tighter and rolled his cloak round his left arm. He and Jill came quickly down among the men. 2 Calormenes were driving a horse which was harnessed to a log. Just as the king reached them, the log had got stuck in a bad, muddy place.
Yeah! Yeah! Get on, son of sloth! Pull, you lazy beast!
You're too easy with that whip.
Give it to me! Lazy brute!
Up till now, Tirian had taken it for granted that the horses which the Calormenes were driving were their own horses. Dumb, witless animals, like the horses of our own world. And though he hated to see even a dumb horse overdriven, he was, of course, thinking more about the murder of the trees. It had never crossed his mind that anyone would dare to harness one of the free talking horses of Narnia, much less to use a whip on it. But as that savage blow fell, the horse reared up and said, half screaming,
Oh, a tyrant! Don't you see I'm doing all I can?
When Tirian knew that the horse was one of his own Narnians, there came over him and over Jill such a rage that they didn't know what they were doing. The king's sword went up, the unicorn's horn went down. He rushed forward. Next moment, both the Calormenes lay dead. Tirian then hastily cut the horse's bonds.
Master Horse, how came these barbarians to enslave you? Is Narnia conquered? Has there been a battle?
No, sire. Aslan is here. It is all by his orders.
Danger, sire. The Calormenes are coming, with scimitars drawn.
We must face them.
No, sire, we're outnumbered. Quick, on my back.
Right.
Tirian and Jill galloped away. They changed direction twice or thrice as soon as they were out of sight of their enemies, crossed a stream, and without slackening their pace, they shouted,
Where to, sire? To Cair Paravel?
Hold hard, friend. We must stop. Let me off.
Sire?
Jewel, we have done a dreadful deed.
We were sorely provoked.
But to leap on them unawares without challenging them while they were unarmed, no. Now, we are murderers, Jewel. I am dishonoured forever.
Then I am, as well.
The horse said it was by Aslan's orders. The rat said the same. They all said Aslan is here. How if it were true?
But, sire, how could Aslan be commanding such dreadful things?
He is not a tame lion. How should we know what he would do? We who are murderers. Jewel, I will go back. I will give up my sword and put myself in the hands of these Calormenes. and ask that they bring me before Aslan. Let him do justice on me.
You will go to your death, then.
Do you think I care if Aslan dooms me to death? That would be nothing. Nothing at all. Would it not be better to be dead than to have this horrible fear that Aslan has come and is not like the Aslan we have believed in and longed for? It is as if the sun rose one day and were a black sun.
I know. Or as if you drank water and it were dry water. You are in the right, sir. This is the end of all things. Let us go and give ourselves up.
There is no need for both of us to go.
If we ever loved one another, let me go with you now. If you are dead, and if Aslan is not Aslan, what life is left for me?
They turned and walked back together, shedding bitter tears.
Calormenes! It's him, the murderer! Kill him!
Wait! I surrender!
What? It's a trick.
It's no trick. See how I hold out my sword with a hilt towards you. I, who was king of Narnia, and am now a dishonored knight, give myself up to the justice of Aslan. Bring me before him.
And I also give myself up.
If that is true, then bind them. His hands and a rope around the unicorn's neck. And I will have your sword, king. Now, what is this upon your head? A golden circlet? I will have that as well. Now come with us.
The Calormenes led the two prisoners uphill to a place where there was a big clearing, and this was what the prisoners saw. At the center of the clearing, which was also the highest point of the hill, there was a little hut, like a stable, with a thatched roof. Its door was shut. On the grass in front of the door, there sat an ape. Tirian and Jill, who'd been expecting to see Aslan and had heard nothing about an ape yet, were very bewildered when they saw it. The ape was, of course, Shift himself, but he looked 10 times uglier than when he lived by Cauldron Pool, for he was now dressed up. He was wearing a scarlet jacket which didn't fit him very well, having been made for a dwarf. He had jeweled slippers on his hind paws, which wouldn't stay on properly because, as you know, the hind paws are really like hands. He wore what seemed to be a paper crown on his head. There was a great pile of nuts beside him, and he kept cracking nuts with his jaws and spitting out the shells. And he also kept pulling up the scarlet jacket to scratch himself. A great number of talking beasts stood facing him, and nearly every face in the crowd looked miserably worried and bewildered.
O Lord Shift, mouthpiece of Aslan, we bring you prisoners. By our skill and courage, and by the permission of the great god Tash, we have taken alive these two desperate murderers.
Give me that man's sword.
Yes, Lordship.
I should like to hang it round my neck. How does it look, Captain?
Oh, very impressive, Lordship.
We'll see about those two murderers later. I've got some other business first.
Yes, Lordship.
Now, listen to me, everyone. The first thing I want to say is about nuts. Where's that head squirrel got to?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you are you? Now attend to me. Aslan wants some more nuts. These you brought aren't anything like enough. You must bring me some more, do you hear? Twice as many, and they've got to be here by sunset tomorrow, and there mustn't be any bad ones among them.
Please, would Aslan himself speak to us about it? If we might be allowed to see him.
Well, you won't. He may be very kind, though it's a lot more than most of you deserve, and come out for a few minutes tonight. Yes, and you can all have a look at him. Nobody will not have you all crowding round him and pestering him with questions. Anything you want to say to him will be passed on through me, if I think it's worth bothering him about. In the meantime, all you squirrels had better go and see about the nuts. And make sure they're here by tomorrow evening. Oh, my word, you'll catch it.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
But where will we get any more nuts? We've given him the entire supply we had for the winter.
Quiet, quiet. We'll have to find some more, that's all. Now go. Go! Oh.
Excuse me.
What do you want?
Why can't we see Aslan properly and talk to him?
He hasn't got time for an ugly old boar like you.
But when he used to appear in Narnia in the old days, everyone could talk to him face to face.
Don't you believe it? And even if it was true, times have changed. Aslan said he's been far too soft with you before, do you see? Well, he isn't going to be soft anymore. He's going to knock you into shape this time. He'll teach you to think he's a tame lion. And now here's another thing you've got to learn. I hear some of you saying, I'm an ape. Well, I am not. I'm a man. If I look like an ape, that's because I'm so very old, hundreds and hundreds of years old. And it's because I'm so old that I'm so wise. And it's because I'm so wise that I'm the only one Aslan is ever going to speak to. He can't be bothered talking to a lot of stupid animals. No. He'll tell me what you've got to do, and I'll tell the rest of you. And take my advice and see you do it in double quick time, for he doesn't mean to put up with any nonsense. And here's another thing. I hear some of the horses are saying, let's hurry up and get this job of carting timber over as quickly as we can, and then we'll be free again. Well, you can get that idea out of your heads at once. And not only the horses either. Everybody who can work is going to be made to work in future. Aslan has it all settled with the King of Calormenes, the Tisroc, as our friends the Calormenes call him. All you horses and bulls and donkeys are to be sent down into Calormenes to work for your living, pulling and carrying the way horses and such like do it in other countries. And all you digging animals, like moles and rabbits and dwarfs, are going down to work in Tisroc's mines.
No, it can't be true. Aslan would never sell us into slavery to the King of Calormenes.
None of that. Hold your noise. Who said anything about slavery? You won't be slaves. You will be paid. Very good wages, too. That is to say, your pay will be paid into Aslan's treasury, and he will use it all for everybody's good. Isn't that right, Captain Rijda?
Most sapient mouthpiece of Aslan, the Tisroc, may he live forever, is wholly of one mind with your lordship in this judicious plan.
There. You see? It's all arranged, and all for your own good. We will be able, with the money you earn, to make Narnia a country worth living in. There'll be oranges and bananas pouring in, and roads, and big cities, and schools, and offices, and whips, and muzzles, and saddles, and cages, and kennels, and prisons, and, everything!
But we don't want all those things. No, we want to be free. And we want to hear Aslan speak for himself.
Now don't you start arguing, for it's a thing I won't stand. I am a man, and you are only a fat, stupid old bear. What do you know about freedom? You think freedom means doing what you like? Well, you're wrong. That isn't true freedom. True freedom means doing what I tell you.
That doesn't make sense, does it?
It makes sense to me.
Please. Please.
What is it now? Be quick.
Please, I can't understand.
what have we to do with the Calormenes? We belong to Aslan. They belong to their god called Tash. They say he has 4 arms and the head of a vulture. They kill men on his altar. I don't believe there's any such person as Tash. But if there was, how could Aslan be friends with him?
Go away, you silly little bleater. Go home to your mother and drink milk, stupid lamb. What do you understand about such things? But you others, listen. Now, shh. Tash is only another name for Aslan. All that old idea of us being right and the Calormenes wrong is silly. We know better now. The Calormenes use different words, but we all mean the same thing. Tash and Aslan are only 2 different names for you know who. That's why there can never be any quarrel between them. Get that into your heads, you stupid brutes. Tash is Aslan. Aslan is Tash.
Excuse me, but this interests me.
Ah, now the cat wants a word. Yes, Ginger?
Does your friend from Calormen say the same?
Oh, yes, assuredly. The enlightened ape... man, I mean, is in the right. Aslan means neither less nor more than Tash.
Especially, Aslan means no more than Tash.
No more at all.
Is that good enough for you, Ginger?
Certainly. Thank you very much. I only wanted to be quite clear. I think I am beginning to understand.
Good.
Ape, you lie damnably. You lie like a Calormen. You lie like an ape.
Silence that man!
The terrible god Tash!
Take him away!
Who feeds on the blood of his people?
Take him when he cannot hear us. Now we hear him. Tie him to a tree. Someone over there. And Aslan will do justice on him later.
The king was put with his back against an ash tree. Then they bound ropes round his ankles and his hands at his waist and his chest and left him there. From where he was, he could still see the little stable on the top of the hill and the ape sitting in front of it. He could just hear the ape's voice still going on, but he couldn't make out the words. He wondered what had become of Jewel. Presently the crowd of beasts broke up and began going away in different directions. Some passed close to Tirian. They looked at him as if they were both frightened and sorry to see him tied up, but none of them spoke. Soon they'd all gone, and there was silence in the wood. The hours and hours went past, and Tirian became first very thirsty and then very hungry. And as the afternoon dragged on and turned to evening, he became cold too. His back was very sore. The sun went down, and it began to be twilight. When it was almost dark, Tirian heard a light pitter-patter of feet and saw some small creatures coming towards him. The 3 on the left were mice, and there was a rabbit in the middle, and on the right were 2 moles. Both of these were carrying little bags on their backs. Then in a moment they were all standing up on their hind legs, laying their cool paws on his knees and giving his knees snuffly animal kisses.
Lord King, dear Lord King, we are so sorry for you.
Oh, yes. We daren't untie you because Aslan might be angry with us. But we brought you your supper.
At once the first mouse climbed nimbly up till he was perched on the rope that bound Tirian's chest and was wrinkling his blunt nose in front of Tirian's face. Then the second mouse climbed up and hung on just below the first mouse. The other beasts stood on the ground and began handing things up.
Shh! You must be quiet.
Yes.
water. Then you'll find you are able to eat.
Thank you.
Here is some cheese, sire, but not very much. For fear it will make you too thirsty. Now, hand up the water and I'll wash the king's face. There's blood on it. Yes.
Oh, little friends, how can I thank you for all this?
Oh, you needn't.
What else could we do? We don't want any other king. We're your people.
Yes.
If it was only the ape and the Calormenes who were against you, we would have fought till we were cut into pieces before we let them tie you up.
We would indeed. But we can't go against Aslan.
Do you think it really is Aslan?
Oh, yes. He came out of the stable last night. We all saw him.
What was he like?
Like a terrible great lion, to be sure.
And you think it is really Aslan who is killing the wood nymphs and making you all slaves to the king of Calormen?
That's bad, isn't it? It would have been better if we died before all this began. But there's no doubt about it. Everyone says it is Aslan's orders, and we've seen him.
Yes.
We didn't think Aslan would be like that. Why, we wanted him to come back to Narnia.
He seems to have come back very angry this time. We must have all done something dreadfully wrong without knowing it. Oh, he must be punishing us for something. But I do think we might be told what it was.
I suppose what we're doing now may be wrong.
I don't care if it is. I'd do it again.
Hush. Do be careful what you say.
We're sorry, dear King, but we must go back now. It would never do for us to be caught here.
Leave me at once, dear beasts. I would not for all Narnia bring any of you into danger.
Good night.
They all pattered away, and the wood seemed darker and colder and lonelier than it had been before they came. The stars came out, and time went slowly on. Imagine how slowly, while that last king of Narnia stood stiff and sore and upright against the tree in his bonds. But at last something happened. Far away there appeared a red light. Then it disappeared for a moment and came back again, bigger and stronger. Then he could see dark shapes going to and fro on this side of the light and carrying bundles and throwing them down. He knew now what he was looking at. It was a bonfire, newly lit, and people were throwing bundles of brushwood onto it. Presently it blazed up, and Tirian could see that it was on the very top of the hill. He could see quite clearly the stable behind it, all lit up in the red glow, and a great crowd of beasts and men between the fire and himself. A small figure was hunched up beside the fire, the ape. It was saying something to the crowd, but Tirian couldn't hear what. Then it went and bowed 3 times to the ground in front of the door of the stable. Then it got up and opened the door, and something on 4 legs, something that walked rather stiffly, came out of the stable and stood facing the crowd. From where Tirian was, he couldn't make out very clearly what the thing was, but he could see that it was yellow and hairy. He'd never seen the great lion. He'd never seen a common lion. He couldn't be sure that what he saw was not the real Aslan. He'd not expected Aslan to look like that stiff thing which stood and said nothing. But how could one be sure? For a moment, horrible thoughts went through his mind, and then he remembered the nonsense about Tash and Aslan being the same, and knew that the whole thing must be a cheat. The ape put his head close up to the yellow thing's head, as if he were listening to something that was whispering to him. Then he turned and spoke to the crowd, and the crowd wailed again. Then the yellow thing turned clumsily around and walked, you might say waddled, back into the stable, and the ape shut the door behind it. After that, the fire must have been put out, for the light vanished quite suddenly, and Tirian was once more alone with the cold and the darkness.
In all the history of Narnia, I don't suppose there has been another king as unlucky as I am. I remember the stories of King Tirian. He had been stolen away by a witch when he was only a young prince and kept hidden for years in dark caves. But that had come out all right in the end. 2 mysterious children had suddenly appeared from the land beyond the world's end and had rescued him. There's no one here to rescue me. Tirian's father, Caspian, also had a difficult time. His wicked uncle, King Miraz, tried to murder him. Caspian fled to the woods and lived among the dwarves. But that also came out all right in the end. Caspian had been helped by 4 children who came from somewhere beyond the world, and they fought a great battle and set him on his father's throne. And those same 4 children had been in Narnia over 1,000 years before that. And it was then that they had done the most remarkable thing of all. They defeated the terrible White Witch and ended the 100 Years of Winter. And they reigned at Cair Paravel till they were no longer children but great kings and lovely queens. Their reign had been the golden age of Narnia, and Aslan had helped them. Come to think of it, Aslan had helped them all. He and those children always came in when things were at their worst. Oh, if only they could now. Aslan! Aslan! Aslan, come and help me now! Let me be killed then. But come and save all Narnia. Oh, Aslan, please. If you will not come yourself, at least send the helpers from beyond the world, or let me call them. Let my voice carry beyond the world. Children! Children, friends of Narnia, quick! Come to me! Across the worlds I call you, I, Tirian, King of Narnia, Lord of Cair Paravel and Emperor of the Lone Islands.
And immediately Tirian was plunged into a dream, if it was a dream, more vivid than any he'd had in his life. He seemed to be standing in a lighted room where 7 people sat round a table. It looked as if they'd just finished their meal.
And then he grabbed Caspian's second best.
2 of those people were very old. An old man with a white beard, and an old woman with wise, merry, twinkling eyes. He who sat at the right hand of the old man was hardly fully grown, certainly younger than Tirian himself, but his face had already the look of a king and a warrior. And you could almost say the same of the other youth who sat at the right hand of the old woman. Facing Tirian across the table sat a fair-haired girl, younger than either of these, and on either side of her, a boy and a girl who were younger still. They were all dressed in what seemed to Tirian the oddest kind of clothes, but he had no time to think about details like that, for instantly the younger boy and both the girls started to their feet, and one of them gave a little scream.
Be calm, everyone.
Professor, who or what do you suppose it is?
Is it a ghost?
It looks as if it's trying to speak to us. Say something, Peter.
Right. Speak, if you're not a phantom or a dream. You have a Narnian look about you, and we are the 7 friends of Narnia.
His mouth is moving. He's trying to say something.
Shadow or spirit or whatever you are. If you are from Narnia, I charge you in the name of Aslan, speak to me. I am Peter, the High King.
Look. It's fading.
Melting away.
Was it a dream? Oh. It is morning, and it was only a dream.
What? Gosh, that took my breath away.
I thought...
Are you carrying your pocket knife?
Yes.
Then we must hurry up and get him untied. We can talk afterwards.
Right.
Who are you?
I'm sorry we've been so long. We came the moment we could.
You came?
It was you who appeared to us that night when we were all at supper, wasn't it? Nearly a week ago.
A week, fair maid? If you were from my dream, then we met scarce seconds ago.
Oh, it's the usual muddle about times, Jill. The time in our world is different from the time in this world. There. Ooh.
So sorry, my limbs are stiff and numb.
Can you walk?
Yes, and quickly too. We must be gone from here, for my enemies are close at hand and will waken soon. Will you come with me?
Of course. It's you we've come to help.
Tirian led them rapidly downhill, southward and away from the stable, the ape and the Calormen. After about an hour's scrambling over rocks and wading through a river, they came to the head of a little valley which ran down before them among young birch trees. The sun had risen, dewdrops were twinkling on every branch, and birds were singing.
Now we're out of danger of those villains for a space, and may walk more easily.
How about some grub? I mean for you, sir. We two have had our breakfast. I brought, let me see, 2 hard-boiled egg sandwiches and 2 cheese sandwiches and 2 with some kind of paste in them. Take your pick, or have them all if you like.
Thank you. I confess that I feel rather dizzy, though. Whether it's from lack of food or from seeing you two, I'm not sure which.
From seeing us?
It's not very often one keeps company with children from another world. There's a small fountain up ahead, where we may refresh ourselves.
Oh, good.
I think it's time you told us who you are and why you were tied up.
Yes, what's this all about?
With a good will.
So while they went on walking, Tirian told them who he was and all the things that had happened to him up to their arrival. By the time he'd finished, they'd come to the bottom of the valley, and there they found a mossy cliff with a little fountain bubbling out of it. All 3 stopped and drank and splashed their hot faces.
And now I must go to a certain tower, one of 3 that were built in my grandsire's time to guard Lantern Waste against certain perilous outlaws who dwelled there in his day. By Aslan's goodwill, I was not robbed of my keys. In that tower, we shall find stores of weapons and mail and some victuals also, though no better than dry biscuit. There also we can lie safe while we make our plans. And now, prithee, tell me who you two are, and all your story.
I'm Eustace Scrub, and this is Jill Pole. And we were here once before, ages and ages ago. More than a year ago by our time. And there was a chap called Prince Rillian.
Oh.
And they were keeping this chap underground. Oh, and Puddleglum put his foot in the fire.
Then you are that Eustace and Jill who rescued King Rillian from his long enchantment.
Yes, that's us. So, he's King Rillian now, is he? Oh, of course he would be. I forgot that.
Nay, fair maiden. I am the 7th in descent from him. He's been dead over 200 years.
Oh, that's the horrid part about coming back to Narnia.
Well, now you know who we are, sire. And it was like this. The Professor and Aunt Polly had got all us friends of Narnia together.
I know not these names.
The Professor, I mean Diggory, and Polly came into Narnia at the very beginning, the day all the animals learned to talk.
By the lion's mane, those two. The Lord Diggory and the Lady Polly from the dawn of the world, and still in your place. A wonder and glory of it. But tell me more. You call him the Professor and her an aunt?
He's a teacher. And, well, Polly isn't really our aunt.
She's Miss Plummer, but we call her Aunt Polly.
Those two got us all together, partly just for fun, so that we could all have a good jaw about Narnia.
There's no one else in our world we can ever talk to about things like that.
The Professor had also had a feeling that we were somehow wanted over here. Then you came in like a ghost or goodness knows what, and nearly frightened the lives out of us.
And then you vanished, without saying a word.
So the next question was how to get here. You can't go just by wanting to. So we talked and talked, and at last the Professor said the only way would be by the magic rings.
Rings?
It was by those rings that he and Aunt Polly had got here long, long ago, when they were only kids. years before we younger ones were born. But the rings had all been buried in the garden of a house in London.
That's our big town, sire.
And the house had been sold. So then the problem was how to get at them.
And you'll never guess what we did in the end. Peter and Edmund, that's the High King Peter, the one who spoke to you, went up to London to get into the garden from the back early in the morning before people were up. They were dressed like workmen, so that if anyone did see them, it would look as if they'd come to do something about the drains. I wish I'd been with them. It must have been glorious fun. And they must have succeeded. For next day, Peter sent us a message to say he'd got the rings.
The day after that was the day Jill and I had to go back to school.
We're the only two who were still at school.
So Peter and Edmund were to meet us at a place on the way down to school and hand over the rings.
It had to be us two who were to go to Narnia, you see, because the older ones couldn't come again.
So we got into the train.
That's the kind of thing people travel in our world. A lot of wagons chained together.
And the Professor and Aunt Polly and Lucy came with us.
We wanted to keep together as long as we could.
Well, there we were in the train, and we were just pulling into the station where the others were to meet us. And I was looking out of the window to see if I could see them, when suddenly there came a most frightful jerk and a noise. And there we were in Narnia, and there was Your Majesty tied up to the tree.
So you never used the rings?
Nope, never even saw them. Aslan did it all for us in his own way without any rings.
The High King Peter has them, so he may come.
I don't think he can. When the other two Pevensies, King Edmund and Queen Lucy, were last here, Aslan said they would never come to Narnia again. And he said something of the same sort to the High King only longer ago. You may be sure he'll come like a shot if he's allowed.
It's getting hot in this sun. Shouldn't we be on our way to that tower of yours?
Yes. It's this way. Look! You can see the battlements above the treetops. It's in the clearing ahead.
After a minute's more walking, they came out in an open, grassy space. A stream ran across it, and on the far side of the stream stood a squat, square tower with very few and narrow windows and one heavy-looking door in the wall that faced them. Tirian looked sharply this way and that to make sure that no enemies were in sight. Then he walked up to the tower door and fished up a bunch of keys which he wore inside his hunting dress on a narrow silver chain. The lock was stiff, but at last the key turned and the door swung open with a sullen creak.
Welcome, friends. I fear this is the best palace that the King of Narnia can now offer to his guests.
Don't think of it.
I'm sure it will be very nice.
As a matter of fact, it was not particularly nice. It was rather dark and smelt damp. There was only one room in it, and this room went right up to the stone roof. A wooden staircase in one corner led up to a trapdoor by which you could get out onto the battlements. There were a few rude bunks to sleep in and a great many lockers and bundles. There was also a hearth, which looked as if nobody had lit a fire in it for a great many years.
We'd better go out and gather some firewood first thing, hadn't we?
Not yet. We must have weapons before we venture out again. I'm thankful. I've always been careful to have these garrison towers inspected once a year. Bows, bowstrings, swords, spears, armor. Aha!
What is it?
That's funny-looking mail, sire.
Aye, lad. No Narnian dwarf made that. 'Tis mail of Calormen, outlandish gear. I've ever kept a few suits of it in readiness, for I never knew when I or my friends might have reason to walk unseen in the Tisrock's land. And look on this stone bottle. In this there is a juice, which when we have rubbed it on our hands and faces, will make us the same colour as the Calormens.
A disguise. I love disguises.
Here, we'll rub some on now. Be thorough. And after this is dried on, we may wash in water and it will not change. Nothing but oil and ashes will make us our own colours again. And now, sweet Jill, let us go see how this mail shirt becomes you. Is something too long? Yeah, not so much as I feared. Doubtless it belonged to a page in the train of one of their Tarkans.
They put on the Calormen mail shirts and then the helmets, which were round and fitted tight to the head and had a spike on top. Tirian took long rolls of some white stuff out of the locker and wound them over the helmets till they became turbans, but the little steel spike still stuck up in the middle. He and Eustace took curved Calormen swords and little round shields. There was no sword light enough for Jill, but he gave her a long, straight hunting knife, which might do for a sword at a pinch.
Hast thou any skill with the bow, maiden?
Oh, nothing worth talking of. Eustace isn't bad.
Don't you believe her, sire. We've both been practicing archery ever since we got back from Narnia last time, and she's about as good as me now. Not that either of us is much.
Then here is a bow and a quiver full of arrows for you.
Oh, thank you.
And now, about lighting that fire.
Oh, I wish I'd brought some tea.
Or cocoa.
Some mulled wine would not have been amiss. But there is no point in longing after what we do not have. We should each choose a bunk and sleep while we can. Then we will practice our archery and fighting skills with the Calormen weapons.
Yes.
Hold the arrow thus. Pull length of the bow. Good shot. Higher, higher.
Tirian was surprised to find that Jill's archery skills were really not too bad.
Better still.
Then he tried to teach Eustace how to use his sword and shield. Eustace had learned quite a lot about sword fighting on his earlier adventures, but that had been all with a straight Narnian sword. He'd never handled a curved Calormen scimitar, and that made it hard, for many of the strokes are quite different, and some of the habits he'd learned with the longsword had now to be unlearned again. But Tirian found that Eustace had a good eye and was very quick on his feet. Both children seemed to be already much stronger and bigger and more grown up than they had been when he first met them a few hours ago. It's one of the effects which Narnian air often has on visitors from our world.
So we're agreed then. We'll travel by night back to Stable Hill to rescue Jewel. After that, if we succeed, we'll try to get away eastward and meet the little army which Runewit the Centaur should be bringing from Cair Paravel.
Agreed.
Yes.
We'll go due north from here. By good fortune, 'tis a starry night, and it will be much shorter than our journey this morning. For then we went round about, but now we shall go straight. If we're challenged, then you two hold your peace. And I will do my best to talk like a cruel, proud Lord of Calormen. If I draw my sword, then thou, Eustace, must do likewise.
Yes.
And let Jill leap behind us and stand with an arrow on the string.
Right.
But if I cry home, then fly for the tower, both of you, and let none try to fight on, not even one stroke, after I've given the retreat. Such false valor has spoiled many notable plans in the wars. And now, friends, in the name of Aslan, let us go forward.
Let's.
Right.